That sort of notion of video as the fuel for the content engine can help people think it through not as, hey, this is my video budget, but this is my content budget. Educate, entertain, convince, persuade, move people to an action, right?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Digital Accomplice Podcast. Today, we're joined by Kim Moutsos, who's the lead of Content Marketing Institute's content program. Welcome, Kim.
Thanks, Dane. It's really good to be here.
Yeah, so it's great to have you. You're one of the luminaries of the Content Marketing Institute ecosystem, and I wanted to kind of lead with a softball question. What would be sort of a recent content marketing success that you've enjoyed?
The first one is Content Marketing World, which is our celebration of all things content and marketing. It's a live event that we hold every year. And this year we held it in San Diego, California, just wrapped up a few weeks ago. And it was so great to be able to meet people from the community in person and see so many new people and people learning and having fun there. So it was great. We were so happy with the turnout. I think our second big win this year was really a research report that we also rolled out. It was our 2025 Content and Marketing Career Outlook. So we looked at a lot of issues around salaries and how people feel about marketing and what are the factors that play into that. We asked people how they feel about AI, how they're using AI. We asked people, of course, how much money they make, where they live. We looked at all the different, not all, but many of the nuances around what influences that. How much seniority do they have? What roles are they in? Where are they located? There's a very obviously big swing between the salaries for people working in urban areas and people outside the urban areas. There's also a big difference in terms of generationally how people feel about different things related to marketing. So I think that's really interesting. But the reason why I named this as a content marketing success is because this was a program where one of the programs, obviously we do this for Content Marketing World too, but where we really coordinated across groups within CMI. We pulled together editorial, research, PR, social, marketing, and we created a real integrated plan about how to roll it out, how to promote it, how to get press attention for it, et cetera. And just, we were really pleased with the results. We've passed our results from last year, and I think that counts as a win, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If we're optimizing and it gets better, that's what it means, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling the FOMO with the CM World. I wasn't able to make it, but I'm thinking next year. So if you guys aren't thinking about going, then I think you're probably missing out, because I didn't go and I definitely felt like I missed out. So I think that sounds like a great time. And so it's sort of like the flip side of that. What would you say would be like your biggest marketing challenge right now? And what are you doing about it?
Yeah, this is such a good question. And I think that the challenges we're experiencing are the challenges that everyone's experiencing. Most organizations, I feel, are experiencing this sense that everything is changing so quickly. And the things that we used to do that worked really well don't necessarily work as well or don't work in the same ways anymore. Like every aspect of content marketing seems to be up in the air. Social is changing, search is changing, the way people want to consume content is changing. And AI is a big factor of that. And I know we're going to talk about that coming up soon. So basically, we're learning alongside everybody else. And it's one of the things that makes me so grateful that this community is so open with advice and sharing. I know you participate in our Slack channel. That's a great place to have questions answered. But I feel like we're all experimenting and learning together. And so one challenge for us is how do we surface those experiments and get them out to people to learn along with us in real time. Real time is probably an exaggeration because it's never going to be exactly at the moment, but as quickly as we can, how do we turn around the learnings and get them out there?
Yeah, it's a great point, and I'm obviously biased. I think you'd know what I would say about that, and so I'll ask you the
No,
question
no,
about
I want to
video.
hear
That's
what you say about that. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
let's make the
like
conversation.
I'm a video proponent,
Yeah.
and video's having a moment. So I want to know, what are you doing with video right now, and what would you like to be doing with video?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it's definitely an area that we are learning and changing. Right now, we do. I mean, there's an obvious way that we repurpose the event into on-demand videos. I think that's kind of table stakes, right? So there was a live event. We repurposed those videos into an on-demand platform that people can access through a digital pass. But we also have 2 live stream video series that are kind of our big video moments. Every week, Robert Rose does a video that we live stream across platforms on what's new in content marketing. So he'll pick something that has changed, something that's been in the news, something that's on people's mind, and he gives the what, but also the so what about it, right? So now what do we do? And then we take that video and we put it on our homepage. I think I mentioned it live streams across multiple platforms. We run an article version where the video is embedded, so people have a choice. Do I want to read the summary? Do I want to watch the video, or do both? And then our other big video content moment is a monthly show that is hosted by Amanda Subler, who's our video producer and a great journalist in her own right, and J.K. Kalinowski, who's our creative director. And theirs is a monthly show that is interactive with people in the audience asking questions. We have 1 to 2 guests every time. And so that video, there's a playlist on YouTube. Obviously, people can interact with it in real time. We promote it through newsletters, and sometimes we'll repurpose that into content for the website as well. And then we do some promotional videos for Content Marketing World. We definitely do some social videos designed for engagement. And I think the area that we're looking to do more is, again, an area that I think a lot of people are experimenting with, short but content-packed videos for social media. I think for us, particularly LinkedIn, is where we want to experiment and play more. So, I'm curious and watching what you've been doing as a person to learn from. So, yep. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, we should keep talking about that, because I've been learning a lot fast, and I see opportunities for content marketing all over the place. So, and obviously we touched on the AI point, and I'm very curious to hear what you think. I've really kind of changed my tune on AI, but I want to hear what's working and what's not with AI.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you on that, because I'm really curious about where you started and what you think now. So for us, CMI is owned by a larger company, and like many larger companies, there is an AI policy in place. So anything that we do, we want to make sure that we're working within the policy that they've and guidelines that they've set out for us. I think the way that we're experimenting really mirrors some of the research that we've done into the audience. So if you don't mind, if I take you through this list of what we've found out from research.
We're here to learn
what people are doing.
Yeah.
Some of the top ways that people in the community have told us they're using AI is for things like proofreading. 50% of our audience say they're getting value from proofreading. And we do that too. So we use Grammarly mainly as a last step, that thing that you just can't see your own mistakes because you've looked at the thing so many times. I will add that we have multiple layers of human editors, but humans are not infallible, and neither is AI. So
that's one of the most beautiful things about it right now. It's so unhinged. It's fun to watch. It's like it's like a car crash in slow motion. You can't pull away.
Very true. So there's a real sort of give and take. We use the AI to catch those things that we didn't see as people, but then we use our human brain to evaluate, is that actually the right advice or not? Another way people say they get value from AI is using it to summarize content. I feel like that's a little bit hit or miss. Yes, it can give you the key points. how you present those key points or surface them, I think still needs the finesse of a human to, first of all, double check that what the AI is telling you is correct. That, I think, as you sort of referred to, is, so important. And, really just to present it in a way that doesn't feel like you're being talked to by a robot, right? A lot of people say they get value out of using it for outlining assignments. I've tried that a little. I mean, this isn't something that I've fully integrated into my workflow yet, but I think it's an area with promise. Brainstorming new article topics. I mean, like any brainstorming partner, you can say there are no bad ideas, right? But then you have to do something with the ideas to make them better, right? So give it a twist, rethink it, use it as a springboard into something else. But as Robert Rose always likes to point out, AI can't generate a new idea. It can only predict what is the most likely idea for something, right? It can't generate something new. Yeah. So it can inform, it can give you places to start from, but I think the jury's out on how effective it is at brainstorming. As a springboard, sure. As coming up with the best idea, I don't know. Yeah. Analyzing, okay, so let me come back to this. Only 38% of the audience said that they get value out of using AI to write article drafts. And I 100% agree with that. We don't do any writing that is AI generated. That doesn't mean that we wouldn't use it to help us come up with a meta description or, use it to brainstorm headline ideas. But nothing that you get from us will ever be 100% written by AI. And in most cases, it's not even 10% written by AI. It might have been edited in conjunction with human editors by AI, and maybe our meta description came from an idea that AI gave us, but I'm not even sold on the output that I'm getting so far on things like meta descriptions, but in some cases it does shorten the time to get to one. Yeah. Let's see, analyzing data performance. 38% of people say they're getting value from that. And that's an area where I'm most interested in exploring and just starting to do that a little bit for our team. I think, of course, that is a place where computers excel, right? To be able to take a bunch of data and quickly get meaning from it. I think that is a use that I'm hopeful for. But again, we're still in the experimentation stage ourselves. Repurposing content, I think that has a lot of potential. Obviously AI does some basic tasks for us in repurposing, like AI transcripts. On our website, we have AI generated audio tracks. So if you come to our website and you want to listen to the article rather than read it, you can do that. And the voices are actually really pretty good. Some of them, which I still find a little bit creepy, are cloned from real people's voices. So when you land on Robert Rose's article, you can hear it in something that is eerily similar to his own voice. Same for Stephanie Stahl, same for Ann Ginn, who writes a lot of our content. But even for those articles where, it's just a straight up AI voice, they're pretty good voices. They sound pretty human. And I sound surprised, even though I know this capability exists and is getting better all the time. But it still, to me, is interesting and surprising. And the clone thing is kind of creepy, but
it is. It's uncanny valley, but it's here. And we're still amazed by it, but we also kind of it's getting a little routine. So you mentioned repurposing, but I want to kind of double click on that. The opportunity I see for content marketing world in general, or the Content Marketing Institute's body of content it has been generating from the beginning of when we called it content marketing, thanks to Joe, right? Yeah. This is the treasure trove of the world's information from the world's authority on content marketing. That's a huge repurposing opportunity. So what are you doing about that, and what's working there, and kind of where do you think that you'd like to take that?
Yeah, well, you mentioned another challenge that we have, which is this back library of our content, which, as we've kind of touched on, what worked in 2007, 2009, 2012, 2015, 2019, and even 2021, 2023 may not work in 2025, right? So we have, this is a little bit different than the original question that you asked me, but you said something really important. I think we have an opportunity and a challenge to look at all that back stuff and filter through and evaluate what is still true, what is still helpful, what are the fundamentals that have not changed, and where are the areas that we need to update and repurpose to new contents that people, want to use to consume today. So yeah, I think obviously, as you've said, video is huge. Short form video is huger, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so for sure, that's one of the areas that we'll need to look at. How do we repurpose the best of our existing stuff into new formats? There are some ways that we do it now, for new things going forward. I talked a little bit about Content Marketing World. Obviously, we repurpose the sessions, the live sessions into video sessions. Eventually, we repurpose the best advice from those video sessions into written content, audio content, and shorter video clips. How to get the most from that is still, it changes all the time, right? So we're looking at the best ways to do that in 2025. And that's kind of the key way that we do it for Content Marketing World. For our written content, it's a little bit more like reuse than necessarily repurposing, but of course we are always looking to update the things that are sitting around gathering dust, or that are still resources that are still accessed by people, and update them with more current information. And then the challenge is, repurposing it into different formats. So it's something that we think about and we're still working through, but expect to see a lot more different things from us in 2025.
Yeah, I'm sure that will be happening. So, yeah. I'm very curious now about this next one, about the content performance. As content marketing experts, you probably have a really good handle on how do we measure the content performance of this. In particular, the ROI question, right? Is content a loss leader? Is it a revenue generator? How do we look at that? And what's the sort of, what are you doing for Content Marketing Institute?
Yeah. So it's, for us, because everything that we do is content. Content is our product in one way or another, right? Educational content, event content, website content. There's no chance that we'd say we're spending too much money on content, because if we're not creating content, what are we doing? What do we have to offer to our audience? Content is our product. So the way that we look at whether we're on track or not, we look at some very simple things. Are we getting people to sign up for something? For our editorial team, that means, are people subscribing to one of our newsletters, right? We've got a daily newsletter, we've got a weekly newsletter, we have a monthly product in CCO. So we want to make sure that we're offering things of value that make people want to hear from us again. And then, are they staying subscribed? And then, are they engaging with us in some way? Are they actually clicking on the email? Are they writing back to us? Are they, taking advantage of something that we mentioned in the email? So that's one way. The list, even if formats change, email, as you know, has stayed with us for a long time and remains an important way to let people know about what you're doing, even if what you're telling them that you're doing might be a video resource or an audio resource. Email is still a really important way to let people know that those things exist. And then we look at, are we getting people to sign up for something else that we offer? Are they attending a webinar? Are they signing up for a live event like Content Marketing World or the Marketing Analytics and Data Science Conference? Are they signing up for our awards program? Are they attending Content Marketing University? So all of those things are, it comes down to conversion, right? We do all these things, and the way that we know if they are working is to look at the health of people's participation with us. So our business is a little bit different from some businesses that are selling a physical product that you could, or a software product even. Like we are in a way selling content in everything that we do, even if most of it is free. Yeah. Right. So those are the kind of the key metrics that we want to make sure are staying healthy.
Okay. And so we've covered a bunch of interrelated topics here, all content related. Surprise, surprise. So how do you boil all that down into like one actionable best piece of marketing advice for marketers for 2025? What's the big takeaway?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, the takeaway is to stay curious and to pursue your curiosity. And by that, I mean, ask questions and then take an action based on what you find out, right? So don't be satisfied. Run a test, right? Don't be satisfied with the answer. Think about the reason why. Call somebody up, do an interview, think about the why behind their answer, and then try something based on that, right? It's always ask the question, do the action, ask the question again, dig a little deeper, right? I think that is the most important thing that any of us can do as we're all learning, right? Look beyond the surface, no snap judgments. The snap judgment is fine, but then ask, is it right? Does it work? Can I apply this in a way that actually moves the needle? If it didn't move the needle, why not? What else could I have tried? What is holding someone back from doing this? What went well? What didn't go well? What is the next thing to pursue? So I think this sort of notion of active curiosity and asking why is really fundamental to any job, but particularly in marketing, where so many things come down to this strange mix of like empathy, creativity, numbers, behavior. But I think really the why and pursuing the why is the most important thing that a marketer can do in any situation.
Yeah, that's great advice. It's kind of funny, as you were talking, the one word that kept standing out to me is, I think you're saying science. Test, hypothesis, iterate is like, that's what I was getting out of that. But then you were adding the emotions and this other dimension about curiosity and why, which isn't really science.
But it is.
Is it?
Science
Okay.
is driven by curiosity, don't you
Yes,
think?
but not science gets to the how, right?
Yes.
Not the why. If why is more philosophical. So I don't know, there's something else. I'm not saying I've got it all figured out, but there's kind of a couple different themes in that one piece of advice.
Why did this apple hit me on the head?
Right.
Right? I mean, why is the question?
Yeah, great point. Yeah. All right. Well, there we go. Sir Isaac Newton to the rescue. Via Kim. Exactly. So thank you so much, Kim. This has been a wonderful conversation, and I really appreciate you making the time and sharing your insights with the audience. So thanks again.
Thanks, Dane. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. See you later, everybody. Bye.